Okay, I've made it to episode 30 of Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, getting pretty close to the halfway point. And you know, it's been an enjoyable ride so far. They are doing a great job of like feeding me a constant like drip of things to kind of answer some of the questions I had while making me curious about other things. I think it's paced incredibly quick, which is good in my opinion. So let's see what happens in episode 30. We had that huge episode 28. Episode 29 was kind of an adjustment episode where we see all the leverage that the Fuhrer, King Bradley, and by extension, Father, I'm assuming, has on people like Mustang and the Elric brothers. So I'm wanting to see more of this conflict start to come to a head. And I'm going to be honest, I want to see Mustang burn another homunculus into oblivion like he did with Lust. So let's see if that happens in 30 or not. Let's go ahead and get to it. And here during the OP, I just want to take a minute to remind everybody that I do have a Patreon now. And I know a lot of you have already joined the Patreon, but if you're interested and you want to check it out, there is a link in the video description. All right, here we're getting started. And we're picking back up with Mustang. And who's Mustang meeting with here? Oh, is this like Mustang's mentor? Are we getting a little bit of a flashback or something? Yeah, this looks like when Mustang was first learning about his alchemy abilities. And I guess this is the guy that taught him, who's not real happy about him being a dog of war here, a dog of the military. I do like this. I like the mentors, because it's the same thing with that just passing housewife. Didn't really like the idea that Edward was a dog of the military. And it's like this never-ending war that they use to pull these alchemists into the state control. All I'm guessing at this point to be future sacrifices, right? But yeah, this is going in a direction I didn't even anticipate. Like, I didn't even know I wanted to know about Mustang's backstory. Now I'm like really intrigued. Pushing his old mentor, his old master into becoming a dog of the military or something, getting a state certificate because he's struggling financially. But I like it. This guy's holding to his principles. He's not going to fall for it. Worried about the disaster it could bring. I like this. Talking about like his concept of the principal motivating factor, the primary duty of an alchemist is to seek the truth. Oh man, he's coughing. I think he's on his deathbed here. He's coughing hard. Whoa, this guy's name is Hawkeye. This is Hawkeye's dad. Oh, I love it. The knot is getting tighter. Oh, this is beautiful. It kind of adds a whole nother dimension to that relationship between the Flame Alchemist and Hawkeye. The Ishvalan War of Extermination. What an intimidating title for this episode. Oh, back at the cemetery, her father, his mentor, his teacher, sharing their memories of him together. Oh, this is before Hawkeye was in the military. We're still in flashback mode. This is beautiful. Bertolt. Oh, another Bertolt? Only it's not Bertolt Hoover. It's Bertolt Hawkeye. Is he going to share his ambitions of becoming the Fuhrer someday with her this early on? But he's downplaying it. He's downplaying it. He's kind of throwing a little negativity on his own dream because he's embarrassed to share it, I think. But she's supporting him right here from the get-go. Strange seeing her not in her butt-kicking military costume. Oh, wow, look at that tattoo on her back. It's pretty impressive ink she's got going on. There's Hayate. We haven't seen him in a while. The little doggy. See, an Ibenitsu or something? Somebody told me what kind of dog it is. I'm not so good with dog breeds, sorry. Oh, wow. Looking over the gun, taking the gun apart. Is he with Winry now? Oh, that's Hawkeye. I guess he's returning Hawkeye's gun to her. Strange with the hair down how much more difficult it is for me to recognize Hawkeye. Is he going to share the details here? Yep, he's sharing the details. All about Scar and his entanglement with Winry. Letting Hawkeye know all about Winry holding that gun and how he told her, please put it down, not for Scar, but for yourself, Winry. Should he be sharing this emotional moment for Winry with Hawkeye? I don't know how well Hawkeye knows Winry. I think Hawkeye's got some good words of wisdom to him, like identify your feelings, protect her. He doesn't like that it's so obvious that this childhood friend is who he's in love with. It's always fun when Edward loses his marbles like this. That's some of the moments I watch this show for. I can't help it. No matter how many times he does it, it never gets old or cliche to me. I like watching his head nearly explode every time. Now call him Short or Pipsqueak or something so I can see it again, Hawkeye. But yeah, she shares that same dedication to protecting Mustang, even though you'd say maybe he's in a position to protect her more than her to protect him. But it's that cooperation, much like Winry and Edward. I think she can relate very clearly to what's going on. But this cuts him. This cuts him deep because she chose to go down this path, but he feels like he's forced Winry into this position she's in. Oh no, this could get heavy. He's asking her about Ishval. Everything's always heavy with Ishval. Oh, we're getting like this dual explanation of Ishval. Scar's asking about it, and so is Edward. They say it's full of rocks and sand, but that looks a lot like snow here, but I guess it's because it's in black and white. Okay. Oh, talking about the religious differences? Yeah, I think it's pretty thinly veiled real-world parallels here, probably. Yeah, not happy about being part of a mistress. And then here we see Envy doing Envy's dirty work, causing this whole unease and discontent to just erupt in this horrible situation that just so many horrific things happened, and that just made Envy and Father and the homunculi happy, didn't it? Oh, wow, look at how big that conflict blew out into. Oh, man. The Fuhrer gave one order, and that was it, exterminate Ishval. I mean, come on, that should have been your clue that this guy was evil. Only using one page on the order, it's like their version of Order 66. Only instead of wiping out the Jedi, they're wiping out the Ishvalans. And we see many of these alchemists weren't comfortable with this, right? Of course, it looks like some were enthusiastic. Oh man, and Hawkeye was there firsthand. I didn't realize she was old enough for that. But yeah, her firsthand account, really you feel, oh, it just shows her randomly shooting people and carrying that burden and that guilt with her. Oh man, she was a sniper. That explains why she was in the sniper position in some of the previous conflicts this season. Oh my goodness. Who's this guy with the pointy mustache? Somebody's told me before. Iron Blood Alchemist, Basque Grand. Man, and has he got automail arms or is he just wearing armored gauntlets? Is this guy a homunculus or something? Because man, he's pretty vicious here. Look at that. Look at that, cannons and chains and just pure destruction coming out. Mustang just burning things to the ground. These poor civilians caught in this crossfire. What did they even do? Walled in. This is just straight up genocide. And thank goodness my man Armstrong can see it for what it is. There is going to be a reckoning for all this. I mean, there's no question. There is going to be a reckoning. It is so much easier to understand Scar and his quest and his motivation seeing these scenes back to the Ishvalan War. Oh, and Hughes there in the middle of it. Seeing all these good people in this bad situation doing these bad things, it kills you a little bit. Just look at the devastation there. It looks like he's commenting that Hughes is commenting that the experience has changed Mustang, I mean. So good to know Hughes held on to his humanity and was rewarded by getting shot down in cold blood in a phone booth. That's awful. Oh, what's this message he got? Oh, it's before he got married. It's still his sweetheart at this point. Oh, look at the pure love. What a great guy. Family man, husband, devoted father. He deserves so much better. Now he's freaking out. What if another guy puts the moves on Gracia? Oh boy, he'd have to go back and do a little karate chop to the nether regions if some other guy's hitting on his lady, I guess. But you know what? He would respect her choice. She's not an item to be won. She's a human. I think Hughes understands that. Maze Hughes, what a guy. Oh man, that's so touching. Getting that letter from his sweetheart is all he needs to live another day. He's got a reason to dream about tomorrow and to dream about getting home. Something so relatable and real world about that. Talking about your hope getting sucked up by the desert just like the water. It's like we're fighting to see who reigns over the rubble. There's nothing left. There's Hawkeye with her sniper rifle. Man, look at the coldness in her eyes compared to when we saw her back at the cemetery when he first encountered her. Yep, he's talking about her eyes of a killer. You know, war is heck. War changes people. I want to know more about her back tat, though. That is a monstrous tattoo. Yeah, she's calling out like the hypocrisy. This isn't what I signed up to be a soldier for. This isn't why you're an alchemist. What's going on here? Everybody's questioning what the heck they're caught up in. Except for this guy that we saw in prison a long time back next to the 5th laboratory. So this guy's really leaning into the killing. Oh, wow. He's trying to call out like her inner instincts. You know, we all, not all of us, but many people have these inner instincts of pride and competition and that sort of thing. And he's trying to make her admit that in the moment, you're taking joy in this awful thing you're doing. So just own it. But I like it better that you recognize that it's a more animalistic instinct and you try to humanize it and deal with it and maybe not do it if it's not necessary. And he's just telling him to lean into the death. This guy is no good. No wonder he wound up in prison. Oh, talking about any of them that live are going to be a lifelong enemy, so that's why you got to extinguish them. I do not like that attitude or mentality. Yeah, he's asking Hughes why he's caught up in this. He seems like the worst fit of the three of them for what's going on here. Oh, wow, it's simple. He doesn't want to die, so he's got no other choice. You know, simple motivations sometimes are the strongest. I guess that's all Mustang needed to hear to unleash the flame alchemy on the Ishvalans. Oh, well, we're going to hear this guy's idea for the terrible reason. What is this murder going on here? Oh, turning them into philosopher's stones? Is that what's happening? They are Marco's human experiments here. Oh, horrific. That was the only reason Father needed more bodies to throw at the philosopher's stone. Marco doing the bidding, maybe unwillingly or unknowingly. I won't say unwillingly, but he thinks it's his own research into philosopher's stones. Look at how many went into it. Oh, Kimberly is the one that was in prison. Oh, the Crimson Alchemist had it, and what did he do with it? He's still on the loose out there, right? I want to see Scar take this guy out. This would be a fun battle, because I think Scar can do it, and I'd easily cheer for Scar in that one. Oh, man. So he was able to use that one stone to just crush them all? Is it this knowledge that got him locked in prison, or his attitude that got him locked in prison? I mean, he's just reveling in the destruction he's unleashed or about to unleash. Oh, swallowing it? Oh, just look at that. It's like snap your fingers and they're gone. Yeah, that guy is a psychopath. Yeah, I see why he's wound up behind bars. I hope they got that stone away from him, though. She's so matter-of-fact about the extermination. So I guess this is their surrender so the few that remain can live. I do like this sacrifice. The priest is offering to die so the rest can live. And here Fuhrer trying to call out his noble sacrifice as arrogant. I don't like the Fuhrer. Of course, I'm not supposed to. And it's all about math to this guy. One life is one life, no matter who you are. Man, he wants to continue the extermination even when there's no resistance. This is ridiculous. Oh, he's talking about how he's just doing all these awful things and he hasn't faced any retribution from God, the Hammer of God. Maybe Scar needs to call himself the Hammer of God. Wow. He's challenging him. He's like, we're here to fight. Keep fighting until you're all gone. The Hammer of God needs to be in your hands. I hope that Scar makes him eat those words with a little help from the Elric brothers, of course. Maybe Mustang, too. Maybe a little strong-arm alchemist, too. They're even sort of seeing how that philosophy reflects back on them as garbage worth very little to the Fuhrer, too, his own troops. They are realizing here, having like a moment, the way I'm interpreting this, a moment where they realize we got to look out for ourselves because nobody else is going to. I think that's the genesis of everything that's going to unfold with Mustang to get him where he is now. His desire to become the Fuhrer to change the whole culture of the nation of Amestris. Wow, he's surprised that Hawkeye's holding the course. But I think she's doing it to be close to him. Wow, kind of talking about the balance of creation and destruction in the world, and that's what's given her hope in the shadow of this horrific genocide that took place. I think that makes her very happy to be the one who protects him. Oh, and he's telling her, you can take me out anytime you want. So he's asking her to keep him on the right path. That's so beautiful. He trusts her so much, too. Oh, I love that interplay, this relationship. It's a whole new dimension I didn't even pick up on. Oh, not only to protect each other, but she can keep him honest. Because he is going to pursue a lot of power, so he needs somebody to make sure he doesn't turn into what he hopes to replace. Oh, wow. So they're talking about the complete overthrow of the established government, which is where I knew this show was going to get to, and I'm glad we're getting there now while we got half the story to really explore it. Oh, wow. Step one, bring the war criminals to trial. I like how they're talking about war crimes in perspective here. And Edward's worried this is going to end up with Mustang's death. But I guess Mustang is probably of the opinion it's better to die for something than live for nothing. Me, I kind of like living. I can watch TV. I don't need to overthrow a government. I'm no hero. Wow, it's kind of interesting too. She's trusting Edward enough to share all this with him, but also saying, don't get pulled off your mission because of mine and Mustang's mission. You got to hold true to what you're trying to do for your brother and for yourself. And of course, don't forget Winry. She's needs to be protected and, well, needs to be cooperated with in all this. Need to work together. Mr. Armor. That's a great name for Alphonse. Mr. Armor. Ah, so sweet. The little girl saying thank you. May, is that her name? I keep forgetting her name for some reason. If only Edward were there to hear that. He just got called little by Alphonse. So maybe she's going to put her crush on Alphonse instead of Edward now that she was disappointed with Edward. He's pointing out he's far taller than his brother. I'm better than him in every way. Except for the way that counts, which is being the title. Yeah, she's got her crush on Al now. A nice, sweet crush on a nice, sweet boy who just happens to be a soul blood-sealed in armor. What classic love story hasn't started that way? This was a fun episode. I really enjoyed this one. I love seeing that backstory with Mustang and seeing how he got to know Hawkeye in the first place. The idea that her father was like his mentor, his master, his teacher. Getting to see the different perspectives throughout that horrific Ishvalan War. This was another good one. I mean, we've gotten plenty of glimpses at the war in Ishval now, so I already had a good feel for it. But it's still kind of nice to see how somebody that I just couldn't even picture being there, like Hughes, how he reacted to it, how it kind of had its effect on Hawkeye, and then it gave us a little bit more insight into this Bossk Grand, the Iron Blood Alchemist, and of course the Crimson Alchemist. We get to see what a pure sociopath that guy is. Still having a lot of fun with this show. I know I'm sharing it with just a small number of you folks watching, but I'm enjoying it, and I know that a couple of you look forward to these, so I'm going to keep riding this all the way through. At the halfway point, I might even just put out just a little talk about, review the first half of the season or something. We're going to be getting there close, so we'll see. Anyway, I'm proud of you for watching anime, and I'll talk to you again soon.
I just want to say a big thank you to everyone who supports the channel on Patreon. It really means a lot to me. If you think you might be in a position to support the channel on Patreon, there is a link in the video description. Please go check it out. Join the Patreon in order to receive early access to reactions and reviews, as well as extended cuts of the reactions and occasional bonus videos taking a look behind the scenes, as well as chat and polls to help me plan things to cover for the future of the channel. Thank you.